Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes on this Sunday, the 4th of February. And coming up tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, we've had 5 days off. I've been sick. Joe Rayo's had some family issues to deal with. But we're back tonight at 7:35 p.m. We'll look at the week ahead in the long range. And we've got a couple of special announcements because we've got a very interesting show coming up this Wednesday that I think you're going to want to hear about. So we'll talk to you all about that tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. We should pay homage to the fact that we are in a sweet spot here as far as the weather is concerned. It is partly to mostly sunny throughout most of the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic states, back over to the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes. We have a storm that is south of Nova Scotia that's not going anywhere fast, and they're actually getting heavy snow in Nova Scotia out of this, and up to 2 feet in some places. And they haven't had much of a winter as far as snow is concerned. Meanwhile, we have this elongated northwest to southeast storm system, and the primary low is dying out in Oklahoma. The secondary low is forming in the northeastern Gulf, right near the Florida coast there on the Florida Big Bend. And that's going to cross the state and move offshore and out and go out underneath this blocking high. So we really don't have any worries as far as precipitation is concerned over the next 5 to maybe even 7 days. And of course, another big surge of precipitation is coming into the west. And you see the California is just absolutely loaded with rain from Los Angeles to San Francisco and on up to about the Oregon state line. As that heavy precip moves into the Sierra Nevadas, they're getting heavy snows there that are going to be measured in feet. In the east, we've got this northwest southeast stretch of heavy rain from western Tennessee southeastward into southern Georgia. Severe weather earlier today across southern Florida. That has now moved offshore, and there were some tornado watches up. That is done. Although we have two tornado warnings that came out at about 2 o'clock, 2 this afternoon in the Florida Panhandle, right along the Georgia state line. Not actually the three of them that briefly. So remember, if you're watching this later on, it's on a replay. So if you're watching this after 2:45 or 3 o'clock, it's likely that these tornado warnings are going to be long gone. The Storm Prediction Center still has a couple of areas of marginal risk in northeast Florida and southeast Florida. I think the southeast Florida marginal risk may be done. And there may also eventually be an additional severe thunderstorm watch that could go up for northeastern Florida. We also have severe weather risk in central and northern California. And the marginal risk, by the way, continues tomorrow in southernmost Florida and a general thunderstorm risk out in California. Uh, Liquid precip over the next 7 days from Maine to North Carolina. It's either a tenth of an inch or less, or in the white areas, no precipitation for the next 7 days. What's ongoing in the Gulf states, another half inch to some places as much as an inch and a half. And out in the west, which has been ongoing now for several days with several systems, we're seeing still a stripe of several to many inches, particularly over in Southern California around Los Angeles, where there's a stripe of 10 inches or more north to the northeast of Los Angeles. And then in the Sierra Nevadas, we are looking at heavy snows of up to several feet, I think, in some places. No worries for 2 inches or more of snow east of the Rockies. Everything is going on out in the west. And you can see it's a fairly large area of 2 inch or more risk from Washington and Oregon, Idaho, and western half of Montana, all the way down into Nevada and even into northern Arizona, and of course in the Sierra Nevadas. I'm going to go from 2. I'm going to jump to 24. And here's in the Sierra Nevadas here, you've got a stripe of 80% or higher probability of at least 2 feet of snow being indicated. So this is their probably the biggest snowstorm of the winter so far for them. So as far as our weather goes over the next 7 days, with this high to the north staying pretty much in control, low pressure that is to the northeast, also to the southeast, we're sandwiched right in between. And I think we're going to have nice weather through Thursday. A little bit on the chilly side for the first part of this week until all this low pressure gets out of the way, and then the high can start moving. So, beginning on Thursday, we'll probably see temperatures start to move higher through the 40s, and I think by Friday we'll be into the 50s as the cold front approaches. Now, um, after that front goes by, we're going to be watching a weather system early next week. Here it is next Saturday in Oklahoma. The GFS takes a low well to the west, so it'll be mostly rain. The Europeans got a colder, blockier look to it. Um, I don't know which way to lean, other than to say that if given the way the winter's gone, I'd probably lean the way of the GFS, since cold air has been sparse. And I'm not too particularly bullish about the second half of the month from what I've been seeing. Like I remain pretty guarded. I know a lot of people have been sort of excited from the standpoint of winter weather, of seeing a colder pattern coming back. I'm really kind of holding off on proclaiming that a reality because I think there's just too much variability in the models to have any kind of confidence in that happening. But you know what? That's part of the conversation tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll hope to see you then. And I do hope you are enjoying the beautiful weather across much of the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic states today.